Hello and welcome to Getter Farms. We're back with another episode of Deer Creek, and it's been probably close to a week since we put a video out on this map, and part of that was we've been kind of working on a few different mod testing scenarios and things, and we're trying to get everything working, and I broke my save game in the middle of that, had a bunch of different issues that I had to sort out, but we are back, and as a result of being back, I think we finally fixed the issues with hired helpers and course play on this map, this field, this rig. There's a lot of different factors that went into that. So let's hop on in here to the helper menu. We're going to create a job and see if we can get course play running on this field. You can see the outline on the field now. I'm really liking the updates that keep coming out to course play, and we are going to try and set up a 2-headland course here and just accept all of these other details as they are. And with a course generated, it looks good to me. We're going to go ahead and escape back out of here. And what I want to do is start this job on the second headland pass here. And so I'm really going to try and sneak over here to where this line starts to come over here and have this point right here be my next closest waypoint, and hopefully get started here. We've got some new buttons here in course play. I think all I need to worry about though is the nearest waypoint. So let's get this thing going, and we'll find out rather quickly if this is going to work out for us. It's looking pretty good to me. And so the other change that we've made is we have gone in and modified the rate at which anhydrous is getting used. That's been dialed down somewhat substantially from the default that was on the map, at least the first version of the map that I had been using. And so I'm excited to see how that's going to work out. Hopefully a little bit more realistic settings. And a special thank you to Dan in the community who had shot me an email with some information on how to fine-tune some of those numbers and the research that he had done to find some more realistic numbers based on his own experiences. And so it looks like this is going to work out a lot better with a giant anhydrous tank like this. Having to replace anhydrous every round on the field was seeming like a bit much, and the whole point of running a big rig like this is so we can kind of keep things moving for a little while here. So with that, we're finally now into our fall planting season here. We've got the winter wheat going into this big field here. We should be able to knock this field out here, I'll say quote unquote relatively quickly with this big rig. I am noticing that since we didn't use course play the first time and I just lifted up and went over this grass area here, the waterway, that we'll have to come back and clean this up afterwards. That's all right. Well, that'll be just a little bit of touch up here at the end of the job. But I'm excited to finally have everything going here. We're going to get this field in, and then we're going to figure out what other jobs we've got. This is kind of the last job of the year that we've got here. We do also have a spraying contract, it looks like, that we could go do. I'm not sure if we've got any more herbicide, but let's go ahead and pick this up. We're going to accept that contract. That'll be something quick for us to go do while this guy makes his way around the field. So we did have to call up to the co-op and get a couple of pallets here of herbicide dropped off so that we can go do this job, which is not a big deal. And we just had them bring a couple of pallets, really hoping that this is going to be enough to go hit this field. I don't think it's a very big field, at least not in the grand scheme of things on this map. If we look here, field 8 over here, really not that big. And so our seeder is chugging away on the headlands here. We'll go knock this out. I'm guessing we can probably get this field done here about the same amount of time it's going to take our seeder to get around on that headland pass. So let's see if we can beat him to it and get out here to the field. Braking is a little bit of a problem sometimes here. The traffic is ever so crazy on this map, most maps in Farm Sim, and so we're gonna take it easy here, hug the shoulder as much as we can, at least until we get up to these telephone poles. All right, we're here, and whoa, I was gonna brave it, but I realized my brakes aren't working so hot here. There we go. I was expecting to have more cars tied up behind me here, but not too bad. So I think what we're gonna do is come on over here and just take off a headland pass along the straight side here with the telephone poles. I say straight, everything on this map is at a slight angle here. And so hopefully we're gonna be able to get a GPS track that's gonna work on this angle. And if we look, this is kind of the long way. This is an awkwardly shaped field. So maybe what I'll do is just wing it around this section, and then we'll do long rows on the straight part. I don't know. We'll see. Curiosity now has me wondering if we can actually get a GPS angle here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn GPS on. And let's see if I can lower the boom here a little bit. There we go. Get over here a little bit closer to the edge of the field. We're going a little crooked. And then let's put down an A-B track as we go down the line here. See if I can get GPS to find an appropriate angle for me. Nope, it's not got the multi-terrain angles as finite as I would have wanted here. So we're going to just keep driving this thing on our own for the moment. We'll definitely have to do the other straight side for using GPS to make our lives easier here. I am noticing that we're burning through spray a little bit quicker than I had hoped for using just a single or two. I guess I got 2 pallets of fertilizer. Maybe we should have filled this thing all the way up, but we'll just keep chugging here and see where it gets us. All right, so we're over here on the long edge of the field, the straight edge of the field, and we got our GPS track all running. So once we get this other headland pass off along the road here, I think we're going to come back over here and just run the straight longer parts here and work back in towards the middle of the field closer to our farm there. This is going to be a lot easier than trying to fight with GPS on the other side of the field. We are down to about 33% of our spray. We'll be under 30% just after we take off the headlands for sure. So we're going to need to refill some herbicide at some point here as well, I'm imagining. If we check our contract here, this is worth $35,000, $36,000 just about, which isn't too bad. We've only spent about $5K on herbicide so far. So even if I have to spend another $5K, we're still going to come out way ahead on this contract, which is good. So we'll keep cranking here, and maybe today it would be appropriate to set up a little bit of a montage here. Let's jump into it and go check out and see how this cedar's doing on the other side of the map. All right, we're coming up on what I think is the end of this field. There we go. Contract on field 8 has been finished. We did end up filling up the spray tank once all the way. Just to tackle this field, we got 11% left, which is not too shabby. Given the size of these fields, the contract is letting us off without finishing that last little corner, so that's awesome. Let's go ahead and turn this in before we forget. Get our $35,000, and we're just going to keep paying down a little bit of our debt. Perfect. We're at a $1 million loan. That's a big loan. Luckily, I think our crops are going to come in and help us pay down a good chunk of that this harvest. We managed to do all right on the contracts for harvesting everybody else's fields on the map, essentially. And so I'm excited to see where we're going to get after harvest this time around on the map. So let's run this back up to the farm and check back in on our seeder here. It's been going on the up and down rows here for a little bit. And so I think we need to check on the fill levels of our seed and anhydrous on that setup. Coming up here into the yard, it looks like the worker is stopped here for some reason. I must have missed when that happened. So we better get him going here again. This is really unfortunate. We should have been making a lot more progress here. There we are. So unfortunately, we're not covering as much ground as I had hoped, but we do have 82% of our first hopper of seed. We still got the whole second hopper, and we have used up some of our anhydrous now. We're seeing how the new rates are working out there. We're at 87%, which feels a lot better here. So we're going to keep going to town on this field and see if we can knock this out here. I do miss having the time counter here at the bottom of the course play window, the estimated time until we're going to be done with the course. That was something that I really liked in the previous version of course play. Hopefully that's something that they'll add back here at some point. If I look here at this version of the map, I don't see any indicators here as well for the time, so we'll just keep going. These short rows are going to take a little bit extra, all the turning around that we have to do, but we should be able to knock this out pretty quick and get into these longer rows and make some progress. We do at some point also have to come back here and clean up this missed part of the headland. We'll probably save that for the end though, or maybe we'll jump in and do it once we get to the straight rows. I just hate to mess up our place in the course and have to try and figure out where to get back into things. So we're gonna let this guy keep going for a while here and check back in after a while. Checking back in here on our progress, we have started going on the up and down rows now, and that's turning out to be much more efficient, obviously. Just putting in the acres and spending a lot less time turning around than we were doing on these little tiny short rows. Worker got stuck a few times. We had to help him out there, but all in all, this is going good. This setup is working nicely for us. And so at this point, I think we're going to let this guy go to town on this field and get this all wrapped up and check back in next episode and see what else we can get into on this farm. That's all for today. Kedrick, out. Get up here, we hit the fence. Oh my goodness. Oh, the brakes. We almost got into the traffic there. That would have been horrible. Course play getting hung up already.